Alright, hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you guys love Batman as much as I do, consider subscribing because today is something really cool. I have my friend Casey with me. He and his friends, not just him alone, made a Batman fan film. Actually, it's not a Batman film. Features Batman, but a small misconception, it's not a Batman film. It's actually about Jervis, the Mad Hatter. It is pretty dang good. If you guys haven't seen it already, please stop this video, go over to his channel, Art is a Lie, and definitely check out Jervis, a Batman villain film featuring Batman. Yeah, if you haven't done that, go do that right now. I got to have a Zoom call with Casey about how they made it, just what they did, and just the process of going into making a Batman fan film. We really dived deep, me and Casey, into this. I think you guys are gonna love this video. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Oh, and before I get started, I just wanna say thank you for all your support, and sorry that the audio is a little choppy here and there. That's my fault. But yeah, I think you guys are going to love it. Yeah, other than that, let's get into it. Well, hey Bat fans, welcome back to another exciting episode. If you guys like Batman, consider subscribing because today I have something really special. I have a special guest, Casey. He has done this amazing production of this Alice, what do you call it?
Jervis.
Jarvis.
It's a villain fan film.
A villain fan film. Yes, it's very heavy Jarvis themed, the whole thing of it. It's very heavy, which is awesome because I think you did an amazing job. You had this great dynamic of this man who, like, he's kind of like, he's lost in a way, and he's kind of like, he goes like into like his own self-conscious, and like he just completely breaks and he just goes mad and crazy, and he's pushed the envelope of personal comfort and showing up. It was
Yeah. For those who don't know, Jervis is the Mad Hatter, and so we wanted to like kind of capture the essence of him without going too Christopher Nolan and without going too late into the comics as well. So I think we found a pretty happy medium with following a lot of what the animated series did, and
yeah
using that kind of as a base, but not stealing everything, you know.
right no, but I think you did a really good job, and it was shot really well. Did you shot that on a is it called a Black Magic Pocket camera?
Yeah, Blackmagic Pocket 4K. Yep.
Yeah, that thing looked incredible. It looked really great. The image it looked great. It looked great.
Yeah, our director Tommy Tang, he was the one who had all the genius for the cinematography and stuff like that, and had all the gear hooked up and everything, and like yeah, he's the brains behind all of the actual like filmmaking stuff.
Oh, that's
And I'm like, I just worked on the costumes and I helped write the script, and that was like everything else. It was just me kind of running around trying to fill in for places because we didn't have the budget to be paying for a bunch of people to be working on set.
Hey, with the budget you had, you guys did an incredible job.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
you wrote it, yeah?
Yep.
That's
Actually, I wrote it while driving across country. Uh, so
wait. So you wrote and drove at the same time? That's legal?
well, I wasn't necessarily writing while I was driving, but like I had a road trip from Virginia all the way to Washington State. I got my orders changed up here, so I had to drive all the way across country, and I was just talking with my friend about it, and I was like, I've got this bat suit, and you've been wanting to, keep making these movies, and it's like, well, what better way to, go about this than to meet in the middle and kind of both of
Right.
us. So we pitched the idea around for like 10 minutes of dialogue in between cell reception, getting cut out and stuff like that, and troubleshooting basically, except through long distance. while
So,
trying to drive. And
so it was a phone call, and you just troubleshooted every scenario and whatnot.
yeah, like it was like a 5-day road trip, and we pretty much settled on that we were going to do the Mad Hatter, and that I had pretty much given all these like little reference stuff to as far as material and structure for
Yeah.
what I wanted him to be like, and then we kind of just broke the character down from there once I got here.
So, what were like the early renditions of the script? Like, was it like, did you always know that it was going to play out that way, or
No,
did you have
actually,
like a completely different ending?
yeah. So the ending actually was going to be way different. Alice, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen this.
Okay, if you guys are watching this, please go stop watching and go watch it. Okay, go put it on your 4K TV, your 1080 TV, your small television box from the 50s. Go watch it. It's awesome.
Yeah, this
What
this
are
is
you
totally
doing?
about to spoil it, so
Yeah. So
viewer be warned.
yeah.
So here's the ending. So originally, Alice was not going to be killed off. That actually happened a month before we started filming. She was going to live, and it was basically going to be this whole ordeal of whether or not Jervis was actually using mind control
Hmm.
with the devices, or if he had pretty much found a way to control her mind without the device. And it was going to go into a like 5 years into the future kind of a thing, and her like be, like mind controlled out, and he'd be released from jail and stuff. And like, yeah, it definitely, it wasn't not as neatly bow tied together like what we did, but we
Yeah.
definitely had a lot of direction.
Who played Alice, by the way?
That is Nicole, and she's actually, I want to say she's 17 when we filmed it.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
or
She
16.
did an amazing job.
Yeah,
Really, really talented. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. She's 16, I believe. And when we were actually like looking for cast members and stuff, we found her from when she was, I think, like 9 or 10. And
So you've been planning this like years in the no?
no. We were just looking for actors, and her. We were watching a film that she was in from like almost like 8 or 9 years ago,
Mm.
and she was tiny. She was like half the size she is now, and it
Oh,
was like,
so you thought she was still the same age, or you just
no. No, we knew she was older. It was just that was one of the big performances that she had done and all. And
Mm.
so like seeing her act extremely well in that, it was like, wow, okay, like she's super young there. So
Yeah.
then seeing her like actually perform and stuff like that for our thing, it was crazy to see like how versatile she is, and with how many years, being so young.
Uh, yeah. Really. Yeah. You guys got lucky, or you just.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say we got lucky. Yeah, I think finding actors is probably one of the hardest things aside from writing your script.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine. I mean, that alone is just a huge production in itself. I mean, I know that it's only like 22 minutes, but to get the costumes and the casting and all that and coordinate schedules, I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
yeah, and I was actually homeless at the time while we were doing that.
Well,
Yeah,
okay, wow. Well,
yeah. So when we got here, we were put on a waiting list for base housing, and we were like, we were in the upward hundreds for the wait. And so we're like, so all right, I guess we'll rent. And then nobody wants to accept pets here, so we're like, I guess we have to buy. And then we ended up buying a house, and it was like, which was perfect because that's where we actually filmed the tea party scene, was in my house.
Oh,
And
that explains it. Because I was like, this house seems really empty. Where did they get this house?
yeah, Yeah, and so like, like we literally just had like a completely emptied out house to film in, and my wife was
I love the use of the
mad.
projector.
Oh
Projecting
yeah.
that. Whose idea was that? Because that was great.
Yeah, that was our director Tommy's vision. He really nailed it with the visuals for those scenes because
For sure.
when we had it in the script and everything, like I didn't know what to expect from that, and it was kind of like there's certain parts in there where like I know every little detail of the script and how it's supposed to look,
Because
and
you
then
wrote it,
there's
yeah.
yeah, but then there's the parts of where what he did for his cinematography and stuff where I was like I have no idea what this is going to look like, and it was just on a basic like okay just trust me kind of thing, and I was like okay cool like
Did you guys like ever butt heads, or was it like always just trust me
oh
and you
yeah.
guys just went with
Yeah,
it?
no, there was a few times because it is so stressful on a set, and like you're so you're supposed to have like hours that you film for,
Mm,
and like so you cast people for okay we need this person from this time to this time, and stuff like that and all. And
right, blocking out time.
our shoots were like scheduled always for like maybe 6 hours on average, and we would go over that almost double every single time.
Whew.
So yeah, it was extremely long work hours of filming and reshooting and getting the right angles or trying a different lens or
So wow, so like everybody was working during the day. I mean, even though a lot of it seemed like it was shot at night.
so yeah, we do what's called day for night. So the scenes where Jervis is running through the field,
Mm.
that was actually shot during the daytime, and in post you can go back and actually darken it up to make it look uh, like it's dark nighttime, and that's actually what most films do. They call it day for night.
Oh,
Is
I did
they'll
not
film
know
in the
that.
day, yeah, because at nighttime it's so hard to get the correct lighting on the face and stuff.
But
So
right, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
'cause
so
it's dark.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so we did that. I think on our last day, which was when I was in the bat suit, uh, we had filmed up the fight scene, which was like the very end thing we did, which was the fight. And my suit had ripped, and so we had all these different like ideas of what we had planned out for how we were gonna do this. And I'm sitting
No.
with like an arm torn up here, and then a huge crotch tear, and all of
The
this.
so the so the undersuit, the
No,
wetsuit? No.
the actual armor that glued
Oh.
on.
So is
Yeah,
your armor urethane or is it
yeah, it's
yeah?
urethane. Yeah,
Yeah. Oof. Gosh,
yeah.
that must have sucked.
Yeah, it broke my heart. And then I was sitting there having to so I had like super glue, you know. I had
Right.
like an emergency super glue, and then I had Velcro, and I had like industrial strength Velcro super glued to my undersuit with the armor super glued to the Velcro, and then the Velcro super glued together. And every scene when I would make a move, it would rip off again, rip off again. It was
Oh.
like nothing was keeping the suit together.
Yeah, that cape. I noticed when he threw the batarang and you kind of like turned. It was like real. I'm like, that's Batman. It was really,
Yeah,
really well done. You did a great job as Batman. I love how he uh, chases somewhat. You don't really see Batman chasing Jarvis, but Jarvis is like going through the forest and he goes like into like this underground concrete bunker. And I was like, this is great. It's like he's going down the rabbit hole and he's just like,
yeah,
he's, I'm like, that was great. I really enjoyed that part of it. Um,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, we shot that at Fort Casey, so it was actually underground fort, and
so it
so
was
all the
an actual bunker.
yeah,
Oh,
yep,
wow. Wow.
yeah. Uh, Yeah, we have some pretty funny stories about that. We were over our allotted time to be there, and they had shut
Oops.
the park down, and we
Oh
got locked in.
no.
Well, we got locked in. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just like, I've got blacked out eyes from my suit, and just sweat dripped everywhere, and my suit's ripped up and everything, and like he's in the Mad Hatter outfit, and we've got to walk like
Seriously, it sounds like
three.
you just got out of a battle fight.
Yeah, yeah, and it was like 3 miles to the car to walk from where we were with all of this gear and stuff.
Oh God.
And yeah, and it's pitch black out, and we're like, oh, I hope we don't get caught. I hope we don't get caught. And then I managed to be able to like weasel my little Honda around one of the barricade things that they had out.
Couldn't
Pretty
just
much dead
fly the
on
bat
arrival.
plane in and pick everybody up.
Yeah, and, like it was, yeah. So I've never seen so much like destruction from like movie set sort of things until I've actually gone through it myself. Like there's a plan and it never ends up the way you plan. So
Hey Casey, I don't think your headphones are working. I think it's going in and out. There we go. Bringing out the pro setup.
yeah,
Gamer 101 right there.
yeah, the old reliable.
Yeah. Yeah. See if I can see a tear in the suit. No.
Yeah, exactly. No, you won't actually find that. We actually outsourced to have somebody else go in and like fully digitally repair it all in there.
Wow.
So in post. So yeah, it's extremely cheap to like send it to India, and like India will like do their whole thing and then send it back over. Like yeah, it's pretty crazy. They
What?
did an amazing job with it. My director was like, yeah, I don't want to waste my time doing this, so he like legit just sent it away and was like paid somebody else to do it, and they sent it back, and it was like, oh wow,
Well, go
yeah,
Bollywood. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I was like, I didn't even think that was a thing, but okay. Like, yeah,
No, never heard of that before. Wow. That's
yeah,
interesting. Now I'm thinking, what
yeah,
can I send off and get made?
yeah, yeah. Well, and the
YouTube's.
funniest part is he's like his actual job is an editor, and like doing that work
Oh,
specifically going picture for picture,
I know.
digitally.
Frame by frame, second by second.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
and
After
that's
Effects and
literally his
Adobe.
job. Yeah, and
I've
he was like, no, I'm not even gonna do this.
yeah, good, good. That was probably a wise decision.
Yeah,
Because I have Adobe After Effects, and that just makes my brain hurt. And I know it's only like a 10-second clip, and I'm like, after that, I have to take
yeah.
like a day's break. Yeah, this is great, man. This is so interesting. This is giving me a lot of like insight of, oh my gosh, this is like a big ordeal.
Yeah, I think even for myself going through it, like it is a big commitment, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like, I couldn't do it myself, even with my costumes, unless I had my director Tommy uh, to be able to actually direct it and have like his cinematography, genius to get it to come to light, and vice versa, where if I left it just to him to do and I like wrote the script up and gave it to him, it would have been a disaster because he wouldn't have had the costume detail, or any of that sort of stuff, or the practical effects and whatnot.
Yeah,
And those are the kind of
Bruce Wayne
things.
on a budget. Now that's a movie
Yeah,
I'd like to see.
yeah. And so like and then that's the other part of it is like when you're writing a script, most people don't write to their budget. And that was one thing that we heavily had to write towards, was we can't have like
Right.
the, because I would have loved for a Batmobile chase, and the helicopters coming in and police officers left and right, and
That
this and that.
stuff's
And
cheap. What are you
yeah,
talking
exactly.
about?
And
Oh
so it's
man.
like even as we're writing, like we've got a few things in the works right now, and even then we're like okay, this is going to be something we're going to write for in the future, not for now, because we can't afford a Batmobile, you know.
So you have plans for a sequel to this, yeah?
Not a sequel, no.
No.
So we're probably like we're pretty much 100% done with the story of Jervis, I'd
Yeah.
say. But as far as like other entities and stuff of Batman's story arc, right now we're currently doing like a noir style from 1939 and doing it kind of like a timepiece, and we're writing that as
Oh.
a a basic like down in the dumps PI Bruce Wayne kind of like emerging. So
Oh. Huh. Very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, we've got some interesting stuff in the works, but yeah. I don't want to give too much away, but
No, this is totally 100%. You can spoil everything. It's totally fine.
yeah, yeah.
But no, yeah, I love your work. The work you guys do is just fantastic. The costumes were really spot on for a Batman YouTube production. Can we say YouTube
Yeah, yeah,
production? Yeah,
yeah, it's a
YouTube
YouTube
production.
production.
Alice's costume was good. Jarvis's costume was just like this over the top exaggeration.
Yep.
Um, but the headbands and the cards, that was really good. Um,
Yeah.
and of course your Batman costume, 89 costume was great. Who made it?
Uh, it was a Gauntlet FX armor
Nice.
set. Yeah, and then James Dowry did the cape, the latex cape. That thing's heavy duty. It's awesome though.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
every sound in there, like because you got to go back through and like record audio over whatever you're doing for sound and stuff like that, and like that was the one thing that you can't fake in a movie is that like cape flipping sound. And so like yeah,
Yeah.
we were sitting there just like I was doing this just nonstop making with it so that
Fly,
way he
damn
could
it, fly.
yeah he'd have like the little microphone thing put up to me and he's like cape flip test one, and I'd just be like and yeah, but it it was awesome. Yeah, like it we at one point had almost everything on the storyboard post edited like together, and
Mhm.
like the last things that we had really to add to it were a little bit of color grading and sound effects, and we tweaked some of the sound effects around and stuff, and like that fight scene, like if you watch any fight scene in silence it does not look that good, you know. And then
I've
like once you
watched
add
a few videos of like the sound how sound effects are made, and this dude
yeah,
just goes to the grocery store, buys the thing of meat, and just
yep,
goes just like that. And I'm like,
yeah, or the
no, you're kidding.
cabbage,
Right, the
yeah, they got
cabin,
the
just yeah,
yeah,
breaking bones.
yeah,
Um,
there's like another really good trick with like a water bottle for breaking bones where it's like a and
oh
it's like
yeah.
this
Ugh.
like crackling sound and stuff, and it's like yeah, there's all sorts of like it's insane how much goes into a film, and then
Right.
when you got to do it yourself, like you are every department basically, like like it wasn't like I was able to be like yeah I'm the writer, okay cool have fun, it was like no, I'm taping stuff up that's fallen off, I'm like doing this and that, plugging stuff in, I'm
MacGyver
sound
like
one day.
3000, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and like the best part of our production is that we did it like our sound guys and the guy who played Billy and Bobby who's Tweedledee and Tweedledum, same guy.
It was the
Yeah.
same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very
Yeah.
good. That fooled me.
Yeah, all of
Right.
them like we're really good friends with them. And we've worked on like numerous sets back and forth between their stuff and our stuff, and so it was like the community of cinema for small budget low budget films is
Sure.
very
Yeah.
it's like I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, it's a very giving community, and the amount of time and effort that people sacrifice just to like improve their own, skills and potential to help somebody else is like insane. We couldn't have asked for like a better crew. So
Well, yeah, I was watching the behind the scenes footage, and it looks like you guys had like a lot of fun filming it.
yeah.
Totally made me jealous. Wish I was there.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want something, made,
Yeah.
just a few things, just right to your budget.
Yeah, right. That's the big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah,
can
I
we
like
afford these explosions and all these fancy cars? Nope.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and like, there we've watched a lot of fan films, ourselves, and being able to like have the experience of watching a fan film, it's like your expectations are always like Hollywood, and the funny part is with that though is even with Hollywood, people's standards of Hollywood aren't even Hollywood. It's like,
Oh yeah.
so like everybody's standard is slightly different of where it is, where it's like, oh, Batman versus Superman's the best movie of all time, and then it's like, no, it's not, that was trash, and it's like, so when you're like writing this all out, short budget and all of this, and you're like, how do I even get in that
Yeah.
realm of conversation? you know?
I mean, I think it comes down to the quality of like the image, because really it's really heavily an image based art, is what it
Yeah.
is with a story. And I think in my personal opinion, I think the best cinema is the ones that are both visually stunning and have a simple story to grasp. I
Yeah.
think is like the key thing to making great movies. You look at Quentin Tarantino, and that was funny. I was watching. I just got done watching this short for the second time before
Uh,
we went on this video call, and the first thing that went through my mind the second time was in the beginning. I'm like, this is very Quentin Tarantino type. We don't really know where it's going. It kind of makes sense. She's explaining what this headband does, but it kind of doesn't make sense to where the point of like, okay, why is it like, why do I feel so unsettled?
yeah.
Um, it's like, why am I having this feeling and getting explained just some electronics? That was like very Quentin Tarantino to me and whatnot.
Yeah. A fun fact about that part of the sequence, literally a week before we started filming, we actually just flooded that whole first part of like the dream sequence, as Tommy calls it, and it's all the explanation of like what the technology is and stuff like that. And our best friend Ryan, he's a psych major, and he wrote most of Jervis's like intricate Shakespearean, or as we call it, Victorian Yoda. uh
Victorian Yoda. Oh
yeah,
my god, that's
it's like
hilarious.
a very old Victorian style, but speaking backwards and whatnot. He like wrote all of that in, and like we basically at the last second we're like, okay, we need to explain this technology and we need to do it right. So he went in and like did all the research and science behind it, and pretty much all the stuff that he's talking about is stuff that technically could be done. It's just we don't have the technology for it yet, but like uh
Sure, string theory.
yeah, basically. But like it was just really cool because like I one thing that Christopher Nolan did so well was, how do we bring Batman into the real world, and applied sciences was one of the best things about Batman Begins,
Ah,
was seeing everything where it's like, oh yeah, here's this nomad suit where it's like, oh, all you got to do is paint it black and it looks like a bat suit, but it's like all this technology is underneath it. And
the I watched the special features as a kid and growing up, and I'm like, no way, we're gonna
yeah,
actually get capes that we can fly. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, with a little bit of electricity, and it's like
Right.
and it
Exactly.
holds shape.
I'm still crossing my fingers. Hopefully one day. But that was such a nice touch that they incorporated all the technology that the military was using, or the experimental technology
Yeah,
that the military was using. I don't really know what they were doing, but that was really really nice that Nolan incorporated that, and it just grounded it in reality
yeah,
so much. Um,
yeah,
with I think your short, the reality comes from the emotional story and connection of the love and loss that Jarvis is going through um,
hmm
with being denied. Um,
yeah. Oh, one of the big things that people pointed out that like I didn't really even notice until after the fact was, so he throws the batarang around her
mhm.
and he pulls, and instead of her falling this way, she falls forward or whatever. And like everybody was just like starting to point that out. And it was like every preview that we had out and everything, I was just sitting there like, no, no, no. And then like, so now every time I watch it, that's like all I see is that like one
Right.
little distinct detail.
The one little, yeah.
And then for whatever reason, I don't know how, but I didn't write the commentary for Batman. I left that to my friend Tommy, and that was supposed to be like my thing of like, like I'm writing Batman, I'm Batman, this and that. And for whatever reason, like I just kind of left it to him to like write Batman's lines. So like we were trying to go for a really animated series Batman with like, justice needs no invitation. And it was like, in hindsight, those are the cheesiest lines we could have ever picked. And it was like, uh, a lot of people don't know this, but we were actually in talks with Kevin Conroy's agent to get him to voice.
No way.
Yeah, but we couldn't work anything out in time, and like they didn't get back to us, and then all the like coronavirus stuff hit and all of that, and like that's how far into this post production we was into the coronavirus like uh
Wow. So
situation. And
You almost got Kevin Conroy to do a voiceover for it?
yeah, almost. I wouldn't He's not going to quote me on that, but probably nor is his agent, but we were communicating with his agent to get
Wow.
him to do it. It's like you pay by the word as well, so it's really interesting, but yeah, we didn't get far enough in after all the uh, Corona stuff hit and all of that, and so then we ended up just throwing it out as what I did, and my
Oh,
voice is not nearly as superior as Kevin Conroy.
no, nobody matches Kevin Conroy. That dude's a
No,
legend.
yeah, no, and so like afterwards, it was kind of like we had this like thought in the back of our head for so long, and then like going back for it, it was like we didn't even think about the fact that it was still my voice, and I'm monotone, like I
Right.
don't have the deepest brooding voice in the world either, and all, and it was like now forever that's going to be imprinted on me as me saying justice needs no invitation and being
Right.
like like saying these stupid lines, and I'm like, why
These
did
are
I
the
ruin
words
this
that
movie?
haunt you in your sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm about. Yeah, this was a really good conversation, though. I'm
Yeah,
glad to
no.
be able to like kind of break down, stuff for you, and we were really happy that you liked the film too, because that's like the most nerve wracking thing is like, hey, here's this thing we did, kind of, I only put a few $1,000s of our life savings into it, but tell us how you think,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can give you as many notes as you want, but it just goes into like personal, opinion.
Oh yeah,
There's nothing
yeah.
um there's nothing really that, oh, you should have done this, or no, you should have done that. Overall, I think it's like really, for what it is, really really good. Uh,
Yeah.
if it was a blockbuster, I don't think so. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, and yeah, and that was like the main goal of this was to be like, okay, this is our budget and this is what we can do with a budget. So now
right,
imagine
right,
giving us, the tools and the funding for something bigger, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
like this is basically our way of being able to like show, okay, look what we can do with something small. Now imagine if you gave us something bigger, you know.
I know.
So
Now it's just gonna like grow and grow and grow, which is gonna be really, really interesting to
hopefully,
see.
yeah,
Yeah. No,
but
no, no, it
hopefully,
is. It is. I'm putting it out there. It's gonna happen. But with YouTube, it's great. And I think you went far beyond the expectation of YouTube and delivering it on that platform and in that medium. I think you really excelled and it was great to watch. It was really enjoyable way to pass time. And it's worth
yeah.
watching only 5 times. Only 5 times. After that,
It's
no. But so let's talk about your just cosplay in general. The movie's great and all, but you've been a cosplayer for how long now? How long have you had the bat suit?
I want to say since 2017 was when I first started building my 89 suit. And it's kind of like a lot of people, you know, they kind of like start somewhere small and work their way up.
Mm-hmm.
I waited till I got my re-enlistment bonus in and just went all in.
That's the Batman way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Totally
that's
all at
also
once.
a lot of hard discussions with the wife too. So
Dude, it was totally worth it. Totally worth it.
yeah, well, and then watching it, you know, get completely destroyed on
Oh,
screen, and then yeah, but it's cool though because
did you ever
you
get it
know,
fixed?
I actually ended up selling it as is, and yeah, that
No.
was a whole fiasco in itself. But yeah, I ended up selling it off, and then I used the money for that to buy my Gotham by Gaslight suit, and then
Oh,
I
wow.
used the parts from that to trade for a Batman Returns suit that's getting made for me right now. And then somehow in the midst of all of that, I had some other money left over to where I built something else. And then from there, I plan on selling that. It's a bad habit, honestly. Like, don't go down this road.
No,
It's
no, it's a great habit. This is what this
it's
this
a
is
money
what my
pit.
channel is all about.
Yeah,
What
like
what
literally
was that
as
one thing like I saw like scrolling through Facebook? It had like Batman's complete budget. It was like two
oh
point
yeah,
billion just for like the suit alone and the car, and, like a cave, somebody to clean it. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's like it's a rabbit hole in itself. No pun intended, but it's like, you know, there once you start building a project and you start building a second project, like just stop because you're not going to finish the first project. It's not going to happen.
you never
So,
finish your first project. The first project is like you get halfway through and you're like realizing this is crap. On to the next one.
yeah, exactly. It's like, let me just scrap this like $500 worth of work I just did right here and move
Totally.
on to something else. Like,
Uh, all right. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much, Casey, for being on the show today. Um, do you have any like final thoughts before we get the bat signal and go our separate ways?
Not really. I just really appreciate talking with you and stuff. This was a lot of fun, and I definitely hope to, you know, engage more with you again and some other sort of discussion because I feel like we hit like just the tip of the iceberg on, you know, all the stuff that we could talk about, and so
I
I
could talk for
really, you
Batman
know,
for days, dude.
oh yeah, yeah, and it definitely it feels great to be able to do that because, you know, there's not too many people in your normal day-to-day lives where you can, like, you know, divulge all of this information out and have the other
Oh
person
man.
know what you're talking about. So
Exactly. But no, but thank you so much for coming on the show today. I
yeah,
really appreciate it. All the knowledge that you have and the stuff you're doing with Batman is fantastic. I hope you keep it up in the future and we see many, many more Batman shorts. And the progression that they're just gonna get better and better
yeah.
is really exciting. Um, but don't make a 3-hour movie, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
and then scrap the entire thing. But no,
Yeah.
man, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And to the viewers, if you don't know, check out Art is Alive Films. That's our YouTube page. And yeah.
Awesome. I will definitely leave a link to everything. There's a
Okay.
call out card. I might put it right there. It might just pop out to Casey's. Is it your channel?
Yeah, it's me and my director, Tommy Tang. So
So your guys' is
it's our
okay. So
production.
it's awesome. Yeah, I'll leave a link to your guys' production channel so you guys can check out this amazing short film. Tell Casey in the comments how much, and tell Casey and his entire crew of fantastic filmmakers how much you love the short. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you stayed to the end, thank you. Give this video a thumbs up. Give it a like. If you disliked it, make sure to give a thumbs down. You don't want to, unless you accidentally hit the like button. That's okay too. Yeah, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see everybody in the next video. All right, see you, Bat fans. I'm out.
See ya.